Hi everyone, I'm Echoes and I'm a VTuber. So we'll be going over episode 15 of Gundam Wish for Mercury, titled Father and Child. So we pretty much get an episode without Suletta, and all the people at the Stacia school, as this is mostly an Earth-focused episode, as we cover the perspective of Donnafold, as I believe one of the offshoots of Grasley is currently looking for Donnafold. So this is pretty much covering Donnafold's perspective here. So in the beginning, we pretty much show the place that Donnafold is pretty much like taking, I guess, like refuge. It's at it looks like an abandoned school. So you see, like, they're also taking care of a lot of refugees who have come to them for protection. And you can see here is where they show a lot of their support. See, save your food, they're saving energy for quick victory. They talk about having food rations, talking about how to protect from infectious diseases over here. Wash your hands, get enough sleep, consult a doctor. You only have a limit of a certain amount of water. And also you have some healthcare support on the left. So in a way, the Donnafold is providing resources for those who need it. They burnt out, that won't do. Return it to your cartridges, yeah. So now they're restocking up the mobile suits. Actually, replenish our stock of painkillers. I'll let Naji know, yeah. So Donnafold provides a lot of supplies for the Earthian people. And here's where we see Old Cut here. He's the guy with the scar on his face. And then you see that Seto is the boy, Cynthia is the girl with the baby on her back. And they're pretty much, then we get what happened to Guel. So you can see that he is currently chained to this toilet right here. And you can see he's apologizing right now to his dad because, you know, he killed his dad last season. So we get the return of poor Guel, who's a bit out of it right now, out of grief. And you can see that the last time he ate was about 3 days ago. So he's trying to kill himself via starvation. Or, you know, not enough water or whatever. And you can see that Olcott's he has a mechanical arm, which is his left arm, so he uses it to force feed Guel. So we're going to skip the force feeding bit a little bit. We don't need to see all the details. But you can see, yeah, so the point is that they want to use Guel to as a bargaining chip because he's still considered a person from an influential family, which is the Turk family. So he's very much useful as a bargaining chip in case if Earth needs something, they can say, oh, we got Guel here, take him or something. Especially since his brother is currently the CEO of the Turk company, his brother definitely really would want to get him back for sure. And then in the opening, I realized that there was a change since the last episode. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. Yep, right here. We get the reveal of Eri. See right here? You can see that you could confirm from how she looks. She definitely looks older than from the prologue episode. So definitely mystery continues there. Okay, and then we after opening, get return to the Donnafold. So their main focus is right now to evacuate the refugees, find a place to stay, and everything. Prepare for the refugees, Western Airfield, and then after that we get a shot back to Astacia, with and then we get the title shot. And now at Astacia, you see here Norea is currently beating up Nika, and it's also completely fair that Norea is just blaming Nika for Sophie's death, which is completely wrong, as if you remember, Sophie did die from permit overload. So it really wasn't her fault for Sophie dying. Norea is just being an ass right here. She's beating up the wrong person. But she also doesn't understand permit enough to, I guess, blame other people, I suppose. Also putting Naji and Jane. So she's just blaming Nika overall for a lot of things. She's blaming her for something else, I guess. Because from the implication here, it looks like Nika was a whistleblower. So she pretty much alerted the front management company of the Donna Fold's actions because, she's the double agent, right? So because of it, the front management company is like, she's pretty much a traitor, right? And also she's what's the word? She's also alerting us. It's like a interesting situation here with Nika. But in reality, like, it just shows that Nika's whistleblowing may have caused the whole assault on Donald Fallen Earth. His silly ideals. See that Shaddiq's girls don't do anything. Just because you hate Spathians, you go on rampage for no reason and kill people. All you do is cause suffering, right? No one ever listened to Earthian's voice. So the thing is that you can see here is where Nika isn't completely wrong either. Because a lot of it's caused by this whole dichotomy between Earthian and Spatians, right? With the Earthians being quote-unquote inferior and also considered more barbaric, right? While as the Spatians pretty much use Earthians as pretty much slaves, I guess. Not exactly like that, but to a point that they're just using them for their own benefit, as the Spatians have all the power. This is the complete reversal of the typical Gundam dynamic, where instead it's the Earthians, who are the Federation, who are superior over the Zeon, which are in space. So it's definitely an interesting reversal, but it doesn't change that because that inequality, there's still a lot of unrest and unhappiness and rage and violence. What you're doing is wrong. See, Noreya is just like beating her up more. And you can see that this lady here is stopping them because it can't kill a student, and also because they're having Noreya as a hostage because of her involvement with Donald Fold, because of her damn ego. Dozens or hundreds of our comrades will be killed in their security operation. So which one is causing stuff? So in a way, it goes either way, right? Because Nika's just trying to protect her friends that they're in, because she's an orphan, right? She all she wants to do is just protect her friends in the end. While Noreya wants to protect all of Donald Fold, right? So they have their own reason to protect what they want to protect in the end. Here, Shaddiq, you see, he's pulling, he's talking to his father, Zenelli. He doesn't just want to inherit Grassley, though. He has a goal to accomplish. Covertly finds massive cost space into war. And yeah, so you can see here's where he wants to break the, Shaddiq wants to break the status quo. Right here. Break the system. Untouchable, break apart rashly, exhausted by corporations for shrunken pie, profits will likely evaporate too. So what he has is that he's going to pretty much, because he doesn't know when the next war will happen between, I guess, Earthians and Spatians, right? We'll use the friction between Earth and the corporations to create a situation where no one will need to start wars. He pretty much wants to sell all Veteran Group's assets, because by selling the assets, he hopes to say, hey, if we're being, nice to you, Earth, right, then we'll just give you all this stuff. So just so if that happens, that means that Earthians will be somewhat pleased, and Spatians like, we're not as powerful anymore. So I guess that's his goal. I don't know how exactly smart that is, but something, I guess. So half Earthian, are you trying to give weapons to a conflict area like Earth? So then we get a reveal that we already knew that Shaddiq was only Zeneli's adopted son, right? We also learned that he's also half Earthian as a way to work off your grudge against Spatians. Grudges won't fill an empty stomach, right? But then again, as long as Spatians alone control all the interests capable of exploiting us, yeah. So Spatians continue to exploit Earthians and have done so for quite a long time. No one can't do anything without power. So he's going to do whatever it takes to bring Earthian interests at the forefront. And that's why I will be the one who seizes that power. So yeah, so that's what Shaddiq is doing. Then we have the Banner Group's Earth Garrison Forces. They're looking for EMS coverage, which is the sign of mobile suits. Everyone can do searching as individual teams. Any resistance, you're authorized to neutralize, yeah. Why aren't we Dominicus being sent out rather than the group's security forces? Okay. Yeah, the Dominicus is under Grassley. News incident of the school already leaked to the outside. So it's board decision they don't want to owe anything to Cathedra. So in a way, they're still trying to, looks like Dominicus, which under Grassley, still wants to act like sort of covertly and hide their actions for the most part. So they're just letting the other people take the spotlight for now. Only thing to Cathedra, which is Delling's group. This is something corporations should handle on their own. I have a bad feeling about this. Or maybe what they want is... Yeah, so it's possible that also the Spacians just want to sort of subdue Earthians a little bit more, or sort of just release their own frustrations too. Kind of like how, like, in previous Gundam series, often, you know, sometimes the Federation, even if they're often poses the good guys, I guess, they still can kill innocent people if they're Zeon, right? Because they're like, oh, Zeon is enemy, and then Zeon deserves to die, kind of thing. But in a way, it could be kind of a similar situation here. Where, like, rather than the Zeon, it's the Earthians deserve to die. A visitor, and then you see Miorine coming up. And if you remember, this guy right here is her father's, like, one of his main security guards / advisors. Something I'd like you to tell me. What is Quiet Zero? So she's asking him a bit more about it. And now we see the refugees are currently being transported away from the school to another safe place. That's protected by Donna Fold. Mission brief, Jalil, yeah. No experience. Yeah, you can see here's where, like, this guy right here wants to protect his family. And Olcott is, doesn't have anything with him. He threw them all away a long time ago. And then we get these children who are mourning for Sophie's death. Maybe it's a way for them to remember her, send her off. Here to the kids, we don't have time for this. They don't want to forget. If they do, they'll be overwhelmed by the fear that they could die next, right? So in a way, she's sort of a form of their hope, but also gives them comfort. Clinging to the dead, erase the fear. All people should understand. I've forgotten. Yeah, he's talking about him having forgotten his own, whatever holds him back, which is his family. Found a place for the refugees. First flight can leave. Okay. Then you have the kids are evacuating, transports will leave, and then mobile pilots will stay there because they don't know when the enemy will come looking for them. The Little Prince, yeah. About the Little Prince, right? So the Little Prince is most likely either Shaddiq or, usually it referred to Shaddiq before, but also will refer to Guel as well. Necessary will use him as a bargaining chip. So yeah, so it could refer to, it's ambiguous. I'm the one who's bringing him. Nope, no, this is just, probably just Guel, yeah. That's just like you. You see the guys are suiting up. Try to keep them from detecting evacuation. Don't attack first. And then you realize that's negated later because one of the guys is just a dummy. Oh yeah, also let me, I think there's something that, let's see. Oh yeah, here we get the only named suit under Earthian, which is called the Protorus. Most likely this is important because it will be used later on. The knight, and you can see that this guy sees the enemy suits that are just looking for the EMS. And then we get go back to this small group here, which is with Cynthia, Soto, and Olcott. Cynthia's trying to kill him. That he come from back from the plant. So in a way, her father died in the plant. You don't know who he was. Maybe he was the guy who was trying to kill Delling, for example, and was killed by Suletta. Who knows? Instead of dead, why did they bring him back? Why? And you can see that he's like still grieving. Give him back her dad, but he's dead. So they're gonna bring Guel. Yeah, they said that this guy's company's about to go bankrupt. And he's like, I'm gonna go with you because it's at least related to my family, right? They really came. But you can see that this guy is the one who loses. This is cool. And pretty much causes this whole mess to happen. I'm like, man, this guy, you just could have stayed a little patient, right? But it also shows just how oppressed the Earthians have been. Ah, that food, yeah. Fool, yeah. Because he's a dummy. Then you have the enemy suits are attacking the school, and then this group gets buried on the rubble. Caught gets attacked. Back away 2 vehicles. So they're just trying to keep the enemy suits distracted until the refugees are evacuated properly. And you can see that Olcott here is getting flashbacks to his son right here. Get the load. He remembers his son wanting him. And then because we learned that let's see, Olcott has the mechanical left arm. And with the power arm, he's able to rescue Cynthia, who's pretty much already dead. She's already bleeding immensely. And then we also get the belief that maybe was Guel crushed under the rubble, and he leaves, right? Cynthia's still alive. She's just, pretty much on the brink of death. And we get the rubble moves here a little bit, and then we know that Guel is alive still, so. Then you're attacking. It's like a very much like this attack on the Dawn of Fold reminds me a lot of the first episode of IPO. It's really a nostalgic feeling. Especially since the grunts use like axes or spears. Then Olcott is sort of having bring up the rear, and then we see that Guel rescues Cynthia. And he's trying to bring them to the vehicle with all the refugees. What is it that you want, right? And then you see who Guel here says he doesn't really know what he wants. He's still trying to figure it out for himself. You see that most of the Earthian pilots are killed here. This guy leaves behind his family. So you see that this guy with the knee mobile suit with the axe rushes toward the enemy, and you see that same mobile suit gets chucked back. That's these Protoros, yeah. So the fact that this suit's name means that Guel most likely is going to use it. So Guel pukes because the guy's dead in there, but then he has to use it, right? Because it's pretty much more better protection than a typical it's like the only way to escape. Rick Kruger, he's still alive. So this guy, he recognizes him. He's a former Dominicus member, right? So he used to be a member of this guy's group. He was an immature kid, unafraid of higher-ups. He was stuck to his own sense of justice. And he was attacked by Earthians. I guess his family was collateral damage. So his son was killed by an attack. Threw it all away. And then you see here's where Guel launches the Protoss, which will probably be Guel's new suit until he's able to use maybe one of his families. The vehicle, where is it? So he's looking for the refugee vehicle. So because Guel launches, he's distracting the enemy soldiers, and then Olcott's able to get a bit of snipe on them. Bessie, yeah. It's too late, yeah, and then Bessie dies from the blood loss here. Then all the refugee transports able to be launched successfully. What do you do now? And he needs time to think. So looks like Olcott will go rogue for a bit. Most likely he'll take Guel under his wing, and Guel buries Cephia. As it's partially his fault that she died too, so he mostly blames himself. Heard someone saying daddy, right? I thought maybe she wanted him to save her, yeah. And then you can see that Olcott remembers his son wanting to save, his father to save him, right? What should I do? I'm not your father. That's what to do next. Yeah, so he pretty much says, right here that, 1 second. What should I do? I'm not your father. So because of that, as what to do next, you have to think for yourself. So it means that Guel has to figure that out. And then here he decides that, can you at least tell me how to get to the orbital permit lift? Which, and he's like, why? Because he doesn't want to lose any more of the things that bind me to his father. So his father's dead, for sure, but he still feels connected to his family. Skip the ending. And then we get the post-credit scene, so don't forget that. So post-credit scene with the advisor to Delling. And we learn more about Notret's relationship with Miorine and also Delling, right? Botanical engineer Notret believed that the various survival strategies used by plants could be applied to humanity. It was a dream with no real basis, but that was just like her, right? So one of the people's sort of vision was Delling, your father, right? Thought my father made a marriage convenience, but he couldn't do that because he was just a soldier, right? In a way, Miorine's family had the power. The battlefield was chaotic. People abandoned their own will, left decisions to their weapons. Lost many comrades. Restoration of human nature. That's what President desired, even took drastic measures. So in a way, he didn't want, if you remember from the prologue, Delling didn't want people to be controlled by machines. He wanted people to control themselves, right? That was that, and he believed that by relying on Gundam technology, people relied too much on machines that they lose their humanity in the end. It makes sense. Yet even if you can control conflict through war partitioning, he can never achieve order. That's why Mistress Notret's vision became a source of hope. It was a belief that even with all the fighting, there could be some possibility of a more peaceful future, right? Till she was lost in the accident. He felt sad, he said so, there's always some sort of enemy. So, in a way, Delling could never afford to be weak. But I get it, I understand why father set up the marriage game was because he believed it was safest to marry her to someone powerful. It's to protect her in the end. And then you can see Delling tends to fulfill his vow to Mistress Notret. Even he had to use the very Gundams he buried, right? Oh yeah, what I like here is that he pretty much says one of my favorite quotes. You, Miorine, your life is yours. You're not your father. Please follow your heart. It's like this is a very similar quote to what Marita Cruz says in Unicorn to Banager. So it's just it's very fitting here. So then we get the title shot to the next episode, which is going to be called Cycle of Sin, and it's spoken by Lady Prospera. So yeah, overall, this episode's not as eventful as last episode, but we do get some more development. We pretty much get the reveal that Guel's still alive. We learn a bit more about Donna Fold. We learn that Nika's a whistleblower, and people still don't like her. We learn a bit more about Miorine and her relationship with her mother and why her father's trying to protect her. We also learn that Guel is also trying to reunite with his family after this attack, but also he may gain a bit more perspective from the Earthian side. So a lot of important developments, and then maybe next episode, because it is spoken by Prospera, we'll probably go back to Suletta's perspective and talk about how, like, in Gundam in general, there's always the belief that war is like a cycle, right? Even if people try to achieve peace, war will always come because people always want something, right? They want to cause something and cause harm to other people, even all to achieve their goals, right? So in a way, maybe this is just a part of another cycle where war will come again and Gundams will be involved because people are not happy. The Earthians are oppressed. The Spacians are too powerful. And then Shaddiq is trying to break the status quo. He's trying to bring Earthians back up to power. But yeah, overall, it's just nobody's really happy in the end. Even after the events of the prologue episode have gained like sort of this weird sense of peace question mark, but people aren't happy, especially Earthians who are like very much oppressed. So yeah, overall we'll see what happens next episode, but it really shows that Gundam going back to its roots a little bit more, and overall oppression helps nobody. So yeah. All right. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoyed this episode. Please keep it also a reminder that we do have a Discord server in the comments. Please don't forget that. Hope you'll join if you want to talk a little bit more about Gundam Witch from Mercury. And also a little bit of announcement, but most likely I'll be dropping Heavenly Delusion reactions. I don't know, just I wasn't able to have the time yet to react to episode 3. After watching episode 4 yesterday, I just felt like it's a similar feeling to Made in Abyss and Shinsekai, or it's just this feeling of like despair or like it's like revulsion or disgust. It's like it's such a strange feeling I get towards Heavenly Delusion. It's like a sort of a feeling of existential dread. And because of that, I feel just, I don't know, like I feel this unpleasant feeling towards the show overall. I don't mind watching it by myself, but wanting to react to it's kind of different. It's like obviously an interesting story, but it's kind of like gross too. So I probably won't react to it anymore. My apologies if anyone was looking forward to it, but you could definitely just talk about it in my server if you want to talk about it more with me. But I also realized that just in general, it's more interesting for me to react to shows that don't have source materials, like Gundam Witch from Mercury. And I may instead pick up the new Pokemon instead, because that also is, nobody knows what's going to happen, right? So I want to instead maybe turn my focus onto shows that either don't have available English adaptations or source material, so that there's always something new, right? Because even with Heavenly Delusion, I pretty much read a few of the first volumes already. So I'm like not surprised by anything. There's like nothing new. And it feels like there's not really much for me to say about them. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much and have a good rest of your day. Take care.